Chat. Chat, are we live? Chat, I think we live, baby. I think we live, baby. We live, baby. We live, baby. What up, Chatski? Chatski. Chatski. Come on, y'all. We live. We live. We're waiting on it all. There's a lot. We had a gap opening up into this session, y'all. We had a real nice gap opening up into this session. On a 1 hour. We're gonna start on the higher time frames. Start on the higher time frames. What we're looking for is for price to reach into this low right here. If we can get price to push into this low, if we can get price to push into this low, then we may be set up for like a little reversal zone. So we just have to watch price very carefully. So on the daily, as we can see, we have a lot of data. We have a lot of data here on the daily. There is a lot of data here on the daily. We are currently reaching this area in which I want to see something because we are currently approaching an area of interest. And so we had a lot of data considering the 4 hour chart over the last couple of days. As you can see, price then rallied very interestingly. Very interestingly. We tanked all the way down here to this low, right? And then throughout the days, we ended up pushing back above these previous highs. We broke structure. And then when we broke structure, we broke another structure, but we failed to break past these highs here. We failed to break the 4890 area. 4890 is an area in which we're seeing a lot of rejection. And as you see, we got higher high, higher low, higher high, consistent low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Well, this may be forming a lower low as of right now. And so we're not really sure what price is doing here, right? We're not really sure what price is doing, how price is going to move, or how price is going to react to the given position that we're in. However, we know what price can do. So in this 1 minute, we know that price can either break structure here. If price shoots back to the upside, we may potentially break structure. But if price stays where it's at now, then we may see some fluctuation. And so price then tapped into this low. We had a lot of rejection wicks, coming into this area. And so what we want to look for here is more rejection for buys. And then we just want to look for a continuation for sells. And so as of right now, what we're looking at on this, let's go to the daily. Let's go to the daily to see how price is rallying in the positions that we're in currently. And on the daily, price is looking like we are currently rallying downward. But this is very important to pay attention to, y'all. We were currently on an uptrend, or we were on an uptrend. We hit a huge spike here, this big impulse, a correction, a continuation, and then we impulsed again all the way down here to these lows. And these are the dailies, right? And so right now it looks like we're in the move of a correction, right? This looks like it could be a little retest on the daily and then a continuation to the upside. So then there's a few things that we need to look for here. One of those things is on the daily time frame, right? Price coming all the way back down here, reaching these previous lows, and then reversing and pushing back to the upside. That's on the daily, right? And so let's look at what the 4 hour is looking like, right? So on the 4 hour, price came up, we had a high, we had a low, higher high, higher low, and then we started to rally a little bit in this range. We started to just rally a little bit in this range. We broke past it, but again, we failed to break past these highs here. So these highs is a very important area, and now we're just kind of like rallying inside of this range. Price don't really know what it wants to do on either sides of the spectrum, and so we want to wait for price to come to us. And so if you look at the 4-hour fib structure, nice little 4-hour fib. We got a nice little 4-hour structure here. Hold on, y'all. Alrighty, very beautiful. All right, so we got a nice little 4-hour structure here. As you can see, we just passed that 0.5 level. We're rallying down to this negative 0.382. And so now we're just waiting for price to give us some sense of a reaction. And then we can ride that price right back up to these highs. So this week, what I'll be looking for on the 4-hour is for price to reach these lows here, this negative, this 0.236. And then potentially bounce back up. This box here is a very important area. So we want to wait for price to at least reach a low. And when price reaches this low, we can look for buys back to the upside, or we can look for a break and retest and a continuation to the downside. As you can see, we got this little Wikiana here. Wikiana, Wickalini. You know, we like the Wickalinis. So, you know, price is moving, but we just have to wait for confirmation before we place anything. See this little trend structure here? Price coming back down. It broke past this. It's coming back down. So there's a few things that's going on here. A few things we need to be mindful of. And definitely we're going to have to be patient this week. And so if I remove this 4-hour fib, we could push down to the 1-hour time frame and we can see a little bit more of what's going on here. Tapping into this range, tapping into this range, tapping into this range, still tapping into this range. Yeah. Yeah, we're tapping into this range. So we need to tap into this range to see anything. So on the 1-hour, as you can see, we have a very important area here. So if price taps into this range and then it continues to push strong, this could just be a liquidity sweep under this 46, 44 level, and then we reverse. But if we tap into this range and we start to have some real nice rejection, we need some rejection. We need some rejection in this area for us to know that price is pushing back to the upside. And then we can look for a break, a retest, and then a continuation. And so we just really have to be patient here, y'all. On that 30-minute, you can see the same thing, right? So this looks like it's a double bottom, okay? But that next bottom has yet to form. And so we got to be patient with this and make sure that we're getting the bottom that we need in order to make this thing happen. Yeah. And what we're waiting for to happen is a good move back to the upside or a continuation push to the downside, especially to tap into this 4-hour range. We just need price to break past these areas, and then we'll be in a good position to push back to the upside or to push back to the downside. On a 15-minute, on a 15-minute, we got a little rejection here. Let's look at what the 1-minute is doing. The 1-minute is formulating that little rejection there, right? So on a 1-minute, we're rejecting, but we don't know if we're going to reject too strong. We also opened up with a gap, right? We also opened up with a gap. So because we opened up with a gap, this is the gap here. We all know that these gaps do need to be filled sometimes. And so when looking at price, push back to the upside after a huge move in the opposite direction, we look for price to fill these gaps. So from what we're looking at here, it doesn't look like a gap, but on the browser, I'm sorry, on my broker, this is 100% a gap. And so we have to just be mindful with price. So stay mindful and wait for price to give you the move. Don't force it. I said, don't force it. You heard me? Don't force it. Alrighty, let's see what we got. 15-minute. So yeah, I'm looking for buys. I'm looking for buys in this area. Look for buys in this area. I would need a very strong rejection though for me to get buys in this area. If I don't get a very strong rejection, then the buys, I can kind of say bye-bye to that analysis. However, if we just get a strong push and strong candle closures, then there is no buy opportunity. But if we get some rejection, y'all, there will be a very massive buy opportunity to potentially bring these back to these previous highs here. Yeah, to potentially bring price back to these previous highs here. So on a 15-minute fib, right? Let's look at this little structure. See, we're in this area. Nice area. We're looking to price to push way back to this upside here. But we're in this nice little area here. This is a cool little area. So we just need to wait for price to see what it's going to do and then reverse potentially. If you're looking for a reversal setup, if you're looking for a break and retest, again, these are just key levels. So this would be a level here, right? The next level from there would be here. So we would need price to break past any of these levels. So if you want to see it, you need price to do this, maybe rally a little bit, reach this level, drop, come up here, drop, break, retest, then continue. And then we may be able to buy this all the way up here to these previous highs. And so again, patience pays, patience pays. This is a move that might not play out for a couple of days, right? But again, if you can sit here and you can watch the move, if you could be patient, if you could sit on your thumbs, if you're not eager to just place a trade, then you'll be good to go. And that one trade that you do place could be that one trade that changes your life or puts in perspective for you that this is actually something that can work and that can work very well. As you can see, we're rejecting right now. Very strong rejection from this downside area. So we'll be watching price in this area just to see what we're going to do. This is a very nice rejection wick though. I would love to see this continue to close above this area and then push to the upside. And this is on the 15 minutes. So you know on the 5 minute is looking clean. We're looking clean. We're looking real clean. 5 minute. We had a break. We had this consolidation a little bit. We had a little hammer tap into this range, push past. I would like to see price push back past this area here to break past this area with some true strong momentum. Some really nice, nice momentum in this area. Alrighty, on the 1 minute, as you can see, we're already pushing. We're pushing real strong on the 1 minute. That 1 minute time frame is a great time frame. And so this could very well push past this area here, come back to retest, and then continue to the upside. So we need to watch price at this level, on the 1 minute time frame, we need to watch price at the 46.89. And then the next range from there would be up here at this 46.99 level. So, you know, we have a couple of layouts. We have a couple of options here. We got a couple of plays. We got a few things that we can do. Ultimately, the best thing for us to do is to wait. It is to wait. We can't get success here if we don't wait. All right. And so my message to you all moving forward is just to sit on your thumbs a little bit. Sit on your thumbs. Don't stay in the market. Set your alerts. And then let price come to you. If you set your alerts and you just let price come to you, I promise you, you're gonna thank yourself later because you know you was patient, you stuck to your rules, you were disciplined, and you didn't force something to happen. You know, the moment we start forcing things to happen or attempting to force things to happen in these markets, that's when we lose. And so we don't want to be forceful in these markets. We want to be accurate. And we want to be able to predict price the right way. You feel me? And so stay true to your rules, y'all. You know, we live trade. I live trade every day on the DDR Trading Academy. It is a free Discord that I run. All you got to do is comment DDR. You just got to ask me what the Discord is, and I'll send it to you. You can follow me on all the social medias at DDR Trading, um, and again at DDR Trading. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get you into this free Discord. It's a good community of people, y'all. It's not many people in there now, but it's definitely the beginning to something beautiful. The beginning of something beautiful. So I'm excited to continuously build this with you all and to show y'all my journey and the way that I navigate when it comes down to mindset and also trading with the correct mindset inside of these markets. And so look at this. This looks good. This is good. So again, we came down here, we tapped into this range, and then we started to reverse. Now, the only thing that we need here is we need price to hold above these areas. If we can't hold above these areas, then we may just be grabbing a little bit of fuel to come back down and switch things up in this to come back down to this 46.75 level. So watch price closely, sit on your thumbs, wait for a break, wait for a retest, and then a continuation. Okay, because once you get that, I mean, you mapped it out. So shoot, you got exactly what you was asking for. Exactly what you were asking for. I'm trying to do something. Hold on. Hold on. Hadan. Trying to say something. I'm trying to see something. Wait, wait. All right, y'all. So if we have any questions, comments, or any concerns, you can answer alleth, thitteth, questioneth, noweth. We have to look at this fib structure one more time. I think this is going to be a pretty nice, healthy trade. I think this is going to be a very nice, very healthy trade. Very nice, very healthy trade. Again, we got to fill this gap, right? We got to fill this gap. We have to fill this gap because it's Friday, April 24th. We rallied like this, but then Sunday we tanked. So we just tanking. Tankiana. We just tanking, yo. And so there's gaps that need to be filled. So we need to fill all of this. We need to fill this gap. And so whether that gap gets filled now or whether that gap gets filled later, we still need to fill this gap. And so I'm looking for price, and this is on a 1 minute. I'm looking for price to push back to this upside to fill this gap. Again, nobody knows when the gap actually is going to be filled, but we all know that when there is a gap, especially during an opening, we need to fill that. And so if you can just be patient enough and catch a play that essentially fills that gap, then then know that that's because patience just paid you, right? And so the mindset that we're going to go into these markets this week is I already know what price is going to do. Now let me just wait for it to happen, okay? So one more time, I'll go over it one more time on this fib structure, on this nice little fib structure here, okay? This is currently the level that we're at right now. This is the level that we want to essentially get back to. This the 0.618. We want to get back to this level because this is a pretty solid level. But in order for us to get back to that level, we got to make sure that price is cooperating within this range. And so we're chilling for right now, y'all. We're chilling. We know what we're looking for. We're looking for price to break past this range. So price breaks past this range and it continues down here. I'm going to set an alert, and I'm just going to set this alert, and I'm going to set this alert for downside. Watch for retest. Watch for retest. Boom. Cool. Price is breaking to the downside. So if we break and then we retest and then we continue, then you may be able to catch a few pips there. And then I'm going to set another on the 15 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute. I'm going to set another range, another alert here. Boom. Add to the alert. Bang. Price is pushing to the upside. Watch this area for strong. Watch this area for strong momentum. Price is pushing to the upside. Watch this area for strong momentum. Bang. All right. So now we have our play. We have price pushing down here. We know what's going to happen if price pushes down here. We have price pushing back up here, back into this gap area to essentially fill it. And if we push past this area, again, we're going to look for buys all the way up into this this target 1 here. Either this target 0, this target 1 or this target 2. But if we don't push above this area and we can't hold, then we're not going to look for too many buys. We're just going to stay steady. Okay? So that looks good. That looks good. We have our range. We have our range for the week. We have our range for the week. We could low key reach these highs up here. We could reach these highs. Now imagine if price, imagine this, y'all. Imagine if this was the lowest that price got for the week. And then we just continued, all the way up here. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty about catching these moves early or seeing these moves play out. You know, Sunday moves. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Personally, I do enjoy trading on Asian session. Only on Sunday though. Only Sunday really. Some Asian session days are cool, but Sunday Asian sessions be lit sometimes because you can really catch the beginning of a massive move. I mean, the beginning of a massive move, you can catch it. But again, you don't want to chase it. You want to wait for price to play out in your favor. Because again, price is going to do exactly what you, most cases, what you think is going to do. But can you be patient enough to see that play out? And so, what we already know here is that we've already seen multiple rejections in these areas from the previous price action, from the previous data that we've seen price give us. It's given us multiple reactions in this area. So it's not unlikely that this area here can be looked at as like a reversal zone. But if price does decide to push past this area very strong, then we know that's not a reversal zone. We know that price is essentially grabbing more liquidity to reverse and continue to the upside. And so we just have to be patient. We have to be patient. Patience will always pay. Will always pay. All right, y'all. Like I said, I run a free trading Discord. It's called the DDR Trading Academy. I do it, I live trade every day. I'll start live trading in the mornings on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and potentially Fridays. If I'm trading that often throughout the week, then I'll live trade in the mornings every time that I do. But until then, y'all, my name is Osiris. We are DDR Trading, and DDR is a system. It's a system that you create. It stands for drive, determination, and resilience. I know that we have DDR somewhere in our life, everywhere or nowhere or somewhere. It's got to be there, right? But sometimes we get lost in adversity and sometimes we get lost in the things that we want and shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? And we stop focusing on the things that are. And so always know that your inner DDR is what drives you, okay? But always show up for a better purpose. Always show up because you know that God got your back. And as long as you're giving back to him, then he's always going to give to you in some type of way. And so I appreciate y'all for pulling up to the live. Again, we live stream every morning in the DDR Trading Academy. My Trading Academy is 100% free, and I educate those on the mindset behind mastering the markets and mastering you as an individual. So thank y'all for pulling up to the live stream. I'd love to see y'all more often. Pull up to the free Discord. Pull up to the free Discord. And yeah, I'll see y'all soon. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. And shoot, it's not about making money, but let's get rich, y'all. Let's get rich. It's the rich lifestyle, it's the rich mindset. And that doesn't necessarily mean monetarily. That means internally. Stay rich, y'all. Stay blessed. Peace.